Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you a great intra-district rivalry between the Shawnee Mission East Lancers and the Shawnee Mission West Vikings. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants first from East.
I'm Matt, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Peter, and I'm a senior.
I'm Ben, and I'm a junior.
I'm Polly, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Rachel, and I'm a sophomore.
And let's go ahead and meet our competitors from West.
I'm Victor, and I'm a senior.
I'm Travis, and I'm a senior.
I'm Cole, and I'm a junior.
I'm Evan, and I'm a senior.
I'm Erin, and I'm a sophomore.
Fantastic. And here in the first round of categories, we will ask a question to one team, and if the team answers correctly, they receive a point. If they answer incorrectly, the other team does get a chance to steal. We did a coin toss before we started taping. It was won by Shawnee Mission East, so Lancers, here's the first category. It's science in regards to species. Originally from India, the small mammal was imported into the Caribbean in the 19th century to combat rats in the sugar fields. Name this ferret-like mammal. Time on that. Vikings chance to steal this species category. Originally from India, this small mammal was imported into the Caribbean in the 19th century to combat rats in the sugar fields. Name this ferret-like animal. Travis?
A mongoose.
It is the mongoose. Very good. Vikings, you do get the next category. It is world geography. In addition to Vietnam, name the other two states that formed French Indonesia. Cole.
Laos and Thailand.
Cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this world geography category. In addition to Vietnam, name the other two states that formed French Indonesia. Polly.
Laos and Cambodia.
Laos and Cambodia are the two. That is correct. Lancers, you get the next category. It's expressions. I'll define it prosaically. You identified the familiar expression. Here we go. A single wicker container should not hold the entire output of thy hen. Rachel?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's exactly what we're looking for. Vikings, next category for you is poetry. In what narrative poem does Henry Wadsworth Longfellow describe a young girl's lifetime of disappointments? Lancers, chance to steal this poetry category. In what narrative poem does Henry Wadsworth Longfellow describe a young girl's lifetime of disappointments? Time on that. We're looking for Evangeline. Evangeline. Lancers, you get the next category, which is current events. Who won Artist of the Year at the 2010 American Music Awards? Peter?
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber did. It's fantastic, isn't it? Vikings, you get the next category. Science is the category. It is the conversion of sugars into ethyl alcohol by action of yeast enzymes. Beer and wine are just two examples, or two of the products of this important process. Identify it. Evan?
Fermentation.
It is fermentation. East, next category for you, general knowledge. The route of the inaugural parade from the Capitol to the White House mainly follows what street? Matt?
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Pennsylvania Avenue is the right answer. Vikings, language is the next category, and it's multiple choice. Which of these words is synonymous with liability? Casualty, chance, obligation, possibility. Erin.
Obligation.
Obligation is correct. Lancers, fine arts, composers is your category. Giuseppe Verdi is the best known Italian opera composer of the Romantic era. Name the most famous German opera composer of the Romantic era. Peter?
Wagner.
Wagner is correct. West, economics is your category. Name 3 of the 4 items economists refer to as necessities. Evan?
Food, water, and shelter.
Cannot accept that. I am sorry. Lancers, chance to steal this economics category. Name 3 of the 4 items economists refer to as necessities. Matt?
Food, water, shelter, and space.
Cannot accept that. We're looking for food and shelter, but the other 2 were clothing and health care. Clothing and health care. Lancers, you do get the next category, which is a science category in regards to chemistry. Name 2 of the 3 types of chemical bonds that combine atoms into molecules and compounds. Peter?
Covalent and ionic.
Covalent and ionic are correct, and the other one is coordinate. Coordinate. West, you have the next category, geography. It's a fairly long question. It is in any area where the ground is saturated with water, but where the surface of the ground is not deeply submerged. Name this ecological feature found in the southeast United States, among other places. Victor?
Swamp?
It is a swamp. That is correct. Lancers, world history is your category. Who was the last Tsar of Russia? Peter?
Tsar Nicholas II.
That is correct. Vikings, sports in regards to golf is your category. The Masters Golf Tournament is held every year at the same Georgia course. Name it. Travis?
Augusta National.
Augusta National is correct. Lancers, you get the next category, mythology. They were known as Jupiter and Juno in Rome. What were they called in Greece?
Zeus and Hera.
Rachel, that is correct. Please make sure that you're waiting to be called on first, though. That is correct, though. West, you have the next category, history, quotations. Identify the author of this quotation from American history. Here it is. No terms except an unconditional and immediate surrender can be accepted. Victor?
Harry Truman.
That is incorrect. East, chance to steal this history quotations. Identify the author of this quotation from American history. No terms except an unconditional and immediate surrender can be accepted. Peter?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln is also incorrect. We're looking for Ulysses S. Grant on that one. Lancers, you do get the next category. It's art in regards to painters. Name the French artist who did his greatest work in the South Sea. Time on that. Vikings, chance to steal this art painters category. Name the French artist who did his greatest work in the South Sea. Travis?
Van Gogh.
It is not Van Gogh. It's Paul Gauguin. Gauguin. Vikings, you do get the next question. It's current events. Which country recently announced that it had secretly constructed a nuclear enrichment facility? Cole?
North Korea.
North Korea is correct. Math is the next category for you, Lancers. By what factor would you multiply the measurement in inches to convert it to centimeters? Matt?
2.54.
2.54 is exactly right. Vikings, next category for you is government. Geographical regions may be divided into election districts in order to give one political party an electoral majority in a large number of districts while concentrating the voting strength of the opposition in a few districts as possible. What is this practice of redrawing called? Cole?
Gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering, exactly right. Lancers, literature, periodicals is your category. In 1883, what magazine began as the women's supplement of Tribune and Farmer? Vikings, chance to steal this literature periodicals category. In 1883, what magazine began as the women's supplement of Tribune and Farmer? We're looking for the very popular Ladies' Home Journal. Ladies' Home Journal. Vikings, you do get the next category, cinema, media. It's a matching question. Match these three actors, Yul Brynner, Richard Harris, and Sean Connery, with these shows that launched their careers: James Bond, The King and I, and Camelot. Lancers, chance to steal this cinema media category. Name these three, or match these three actors, Yul Brynner, Richard Harris, and Sean Connery, with these shows that launched their careers: James Bond, The King and I, Camelot. Peter.
Yul Brynner's The King and I, Sean Connery's James Bond, and Richard Harris is Camelot.
Very good. That's all three. Perfect. General knowledge for you, Lancers. Next category. If you go as far in a course of, it's kind of one of those you have to fill in the blank here. If you go so far in a course of action that turning back is impossible, what are you burning? Vikings, chance to steal this general knowledge category. It's fill in the blank here. If you go so far in a course of action that turning back is impossible, what are you burning? Travis.
A bridge.
Burning bridges. That's correct. Vikings, next category for you is religion. This Persian word meaning reflection of Allah is the highest title that can be held by a Muslim in the Shiite sect. What's the title? Cole?
Imam.
Cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this religion category. The Persian word meaning reflection of Allah is the highest title that can be held by a Muslim of the Shiite sect. What is the title? Hold on, Rachel? It's okay, Rachel?
Khalid.
That is incorrect. We're looking for Ayatollah. Ayatollah. Lancers, you do get the next category, famous places. This hotel was torn down to make room for the Empire State Building. Name the hotel. Time on that. Vikings, chance to steal this famous places category. This hotel was torn down to make room for the Empire State Building. Name this hotel. Evan?
New York Hotel.
It is not the New York Hotel. It is the Waldorf Astoria. Waldorf Astoria. Vikings, next category for you is music terminology. What noun is used in music for a cluster of tones that seem to lack harmony? Aaron?
Discordant?
Discordant?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct. Lancers, you have the next category, science, geology. There are at least 6 of these that are recognized by modern geologists, and they are Indian, Pacific, African, American, Eurasian, and Antarctic. Present-day earthquakes are located along their boundaries. What's the word we are looking for? Peter?
Tectonic plates.
Tectonic plates is exactly right. West, you have the next category, vocabulary. What term mentioning a food refers to an excessive showmanship in sports, especially skiing, surfing, and basketball? Time on that. Lancers, you will get a chance to steal this category before we go into halftime. It is vocabulary. What term mentioning a food refers to excessive showmanship in sports, especially skiing, surfing, and basketball? Hot dogging. We're looking for hot dogging. I thought you guys would know that one. As we go into halftime here, we have a score of Shawnee Mission East 11, Shawnee Mission West 9. In this part of our program, we do go to a representative from each school who will give us a campus update. And first from the Lancers, Peter, what is happening over on 75th and Mission?
Well, we recently had our auditions for The Beauty and the Beast, which is going to be our musical for the year. And we just finished our can drive. And also our debate squad has been doing a really successful job this year. We just had a sophomore team get a Tournament of Champions bid, which has never happened before for at least a number of years at our school. And we have students at Youth and Government today, which is up in Topeka.
Fantastic. So a lot of things happening over there. And winter sports just recently started, right? And so things are really firing up. And from Shawnee Mission West, Travis. Travis, what is happening with the Vikings just off Antioch there?
Well, we just wrapped up a canned food drive, which we raised a lot of cans, a lot of money that we're giving to harvesters. for the holiday season. And then we also have been doing pretty well with debate. And our Spanish National Honor Society has been doing a like a winter clothes winter clothes drive, and that's been going pretty well. Our NHS is putting on a Future Viking Fun Night, which is where we have like elementary school kids come on and they get to know how things work at West and stuff like that. And then winter sports just started, so things are going pretty well.
Awesome. And they haven't started competition yet with winter sports? So.
No, they just started practice.
All right, fantastic. And I'm very excited to hear that the canned food drives went well at your buildings too. That's a wonderful service project that the entire Shawnee Mission District engages in, so it's well worth our while. As we head into the second round, it is the lightning round, in which questions are placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team does respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal. So both teams, here we go. U.S. geography is the category. Cheyenne and Helena are located in what time zone? Matt? Mountain time zone is correct. Fine arts and painting is the next category. This 20th century master developed his style in Paris and Russia. He was the muralist of the Lincoln Center and the fresco painter of the Paris Opera, the stained glass artist of the UN headquarters. Can you name him? We're looking for Marc Chagall. Marc Chagall on that one. U.S. history for both teams. FDR was an assistant secretary of the Navy in whose cabinet? Peter.
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson is correct. Literature for both teams. A noted American writer began his 1926 story, The Rich Boy, with the line, "Let me tell you about the rich. They're very different from you and me." Name him. Evan?
Ernest Hemingway.
That is incorrect. Lancer's chance to steal this literature category. A noted American writer began his 1926 story, The Rich Boy, with the line, "Let me tell you about the rich. They're very different from you and me." Name him. Peter.
Fitzgerald.
It is Fitzgerald. That is correct. Current events for both teams. Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin called a meeting of leaders of several countries to discuss protection of what endangered species? Victor.
Tiger.
Tiger is correct. Geometry is the next category for both teams. The front of the Parthenon is shaped like a special excuse me. Let me start over. Geometry. The front of the Parthenon is shaped like a special rectangle, the measure of whose sides is always in the ratio of about 1.
Golden rectangle.
It is a golden rectangle, Rachel. Very good. Please make sure, once again, wait till we're called on. Both teams, literature is the category. Starts with L is the question. Wadsworth lived and wrote about this section of England. Rachel?
Liverpool.
Cannot accept Liverpool. Vikings, chance to steal this literature question. Starts with L is a hint. Wordsworth lived and wrote about this section of England. Evan?
London.
It is not London, it's Lake District. Lake District is what we're looking for. Film, actors for both teams. What actor plays Inman, who struggles to get back to Cold Mountain? Ben?
Jude Law.
Jude Law is correct. U.S. history for both teams. Who was the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations during the Cuban Missile Crisis? Time on that one. We're looking for Adlai Stevenson. Adlai Stevenson. At this point, we have a score of Shawnee Mission East 16, Shawnee Mission West 10. Arts terminology is the next category for both teams. In art, the general term for a line that is neither horizontal nor perpendicular is what? Looking for oblique. Oblique. U.S. geography in regards to the states is the next category. The western border of the state appears at first to perfectly follow a meridian. However, on closer examination, it is seen to run briefly along the 45th parallel to the point where the state borders Montana and Wyoming. Name the state. Peter?
Colorado.
It is not Colorado. Shawnee Mission West, chance to steal this geography states question. The western border of the state appears to be, at first, perfectly follow a meridian. However, on closer examination, it is seen to run briefly along the 45th parallel to the point where the state borders both Montana and Wyoming. Name the state. Victor?
North Dakota.
It is not North Dakota, it is South Dakota. Science, biology for both teams. What is the result when a single zygote develops into two organisms? Please be specific. Oh, time on that. We're looking for identical twins. Identical twins. Vocabulary for both teams. What is the name given to the decorative design made from the initials of a name? Cole?
Monogram.
Monogram is correct. Economics. What is the economic state where everyone who wants to work can easily find work at prevailing rates of pay? Evan?
Full employment.
Full employment is correct. Military history for both teams. Fairly long question, so please pay attention. A man named Raleigh Frobisher Drake served in the British Army during World War II. Give me 3 reasons why it would have been more important or more appropriate if he had joined the Navy. Victor?
Sir Walter Raleigh was in the Navy, and Sir Francis Drake was also in the British Navy.
Yeah, all the names are famous Navy people, if we will accept that. U.S. geography, states for both teams. A peninsula of the state on the Mississippi River is south of New Madrid, Missouri, and north of Tennessee. However, it is nowhere connected by land to the state. What state is this? Victor?
Illinois.
It is not Illinois. Lancers, chance to steal this geography states question. A peninsula of the state on the Mississippi River is south of New Madrid, Missouri, and north of Tennessee. However, it is nowhere connected by land to the state. What state is it? Polly?
Arkansas.
It is not Arkansas. It is Kentucky. Kentucky. Both teams, science, biomes is the category. In what biome would you find the yellow dogtooth violet, Dutchman's breeches, orange touch-me-not, and the goldenrod? Is it a grassland, savanna, tundra, desert, or forest? Cole?
A forest.
It is a forest. With that correct answer, you have narrowed the gap to 16 to 14. Spelling is the next category. How do you spell supercilious? Cole?
Supercilious.
That is correct. Both teams' vocabulary is the next category. An archaeologist, a master chef, or a ship's quartermaster. Which would be the most apt to look in the kitchen midden for a potsherd? Potsherd. Cole?
An archaeologist.
It is an archaeologist. The kitchen midden marks a spot of prehistoric habitation, and a potsherd is a shard of old pottery. With that correct response, you have evened up the score at 16 apiece. Sports is the next category. Of these sports still popular today, which is the oldest? Is it boxing, wrestling, track and field, horse racing, or polo? Cole?
Wrestling.
It is wrestling. Literature is the next category. Marlowe wrote The Tragic History of Dr. Blank. Peter?
Jekyll.
That is not correct. Wes, chance to steal this literature question. Marlowe wrote The Tragic History of Dr. Dr. Faustus is what we're looking for. Presidential history for both teams. Which president gave the longest inaugural address and ironically served the shortest term in history of any president? Cole?
Harrison.
It is Harrison. U.S. history. Through letters to her husband, a delegate at the Second Continental Congress, what woman expressed hope that American independence? Victor?
Abigail Adams.
It is Abigail Adams. Fine arts, painters for both teams. Name the French primitive artist who polished the surfaces of his canvases. His His masterpiece is his 1897 work, The Sleeping Gypsy. Matt?
Monet.
It is not Monet. West, chance to steal this fine arts painter category. Name the French primitive artist who polished the surfaces of his canvases. His masterpiece is his 1897 work, The Sleeping Gypsy. Henry Rousseau. Science, climate is the next category. What would happen to America's Midwest if temperatures increased by 2 to 5 degrees by the mid-21st century? Cole?
Dust storms.
Cannot accept dust storms. Lancers, chance to steal the science and climate category. What would happen to America's Midwest if the temperature increased by 2 to 5 degrees by the mid-21st century? Peter?
Drought.
Cannot accept drought. We would accept it would turn to desert. Turn to desert. World geography for both teams. France is divided into departments. Into what political units is Switzerland divided? Peter?
Cantons.
That is correct. Vocabulary. What is the process called by which a citizen of one country becomes a citizen of a Cole?
Naturalization.
Naturalization is correct, and you've opened up a 20-17 lead. U.S. history for both teams. By what means of transportation did most newcomers arrive in Oregon in the 1830s and 1840s? Cole?
Wagon.
By wagon is correct. Current events for both teams. The parliament of what country closed a portion of its building to visitors after authorities reported concrete indications that Islamic extremists were planning on an attack there? Cole?
UK.
Cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this current event. The parliament of what country closed a portion of its building to visitors after authorities reported concrete indications that Islamist extremists were planning on an attack there? Rachel?
France.
It is not France, it is Germany. Germany. Both teams, theater is the category. When this off-Broadway show closed in 2002, its lyricist said, "You can't be sad for a show that has run for 42 years. Name the show." Cole?
Cats.
It is not Cats. Lancers, chance to steal this theater category. When this off-Broadway show closed in 2002, its lyricist said, "You can't be sad for a show that has run for 42 years. Name the show." Rachel?
Forbidden Broadway.
That is incorrect as well. It's The Fantastics. The Fantastics. Geography for both teams. The early Portuguese settlement of Goa was located where? Polly?
Brazil.
Can I accept Brazil? Vikings, chance to steal this category of geography. The early Portuguese settlement of Goa is located where? Evan?
West Africa.
It is not West Africa, it is India. It is India. And with that siren, that does signal the end of our game with a final score of Shawnee Mission East 17, Shawnee Mission West 21. A highly contended game here on categories today, but join us again next time right here as we bring you the best and brightest minds of all the high school students right here in Johnson County.
Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you the battle of Northwest versus Northwest as we bring you the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies versus the Shawnee Mission Northwest Cougars. Let's first meet our competitors from Blue Valley Northwest.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm a senior at Northwest.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a senior.
I'm Jesse. I'm a junior.
I'm Fedra. I'm a junior.
I'm Andrew. I'm a junior.
And our competitors from Shawnee Mission Northwest.
I'm Chris. I'm a senior.
I'm Thomas. I'm a senior.
I'm Mitch. I'm a senior.
I'm Jordan. I'm a senior.
I'm Kirk Beto, and I'm a sophomore.
Fantastic. And don't forget, here on Categories in the first round, it is we will take turns answering questions. If the team responds correctly, they earn a point. If they do respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that category. So first of all, we did a coin toss before we started taping, and it was won by Shawnee Mission Northwest, so Cougars. Here is the first category. It is math. Some equations are true for all possible values of the unknowns they contain. What are they called? Thomas?
Continuous.
Cannot accept continuous. Huskies, chance to steal this math category. Michael?
General equations.
Cannot accept general equations. We're looking for identities. Identities. Huskies, you have the next category, science, medicine. The chief problem associated with organ transplants is that the recipient's immune system often reacts against the new organ as though it's some kind of invading organism. This is known as what? Jack?
Rejection.
Rejection is correct. Cougars, vocabulary is the category. Which of the following words best defines subsume? You have a choice here. Subsume, does it mean to instruct, to confuse, to categorize, or to improve? Kirk?
Categorize.
Categorize, that is correct. Huskies, presidential history is your category. Which U.S. president, and a favorite of President Reagan, said, "If you don't say anything, you won't be called on to repeat it"?